We're kind of dis into. Hold on, I think my microphone's messed up. We're good. Are we good?
No, you
Yeah,
sound
you're
great.
good.
No, you
Okay.
sound good.
All right. Why they seem to have this kind of death cult kind of view on everything, like
Yeah.
these apex predators elites that we have. I don't get it. What are your thoughts on that? What, like when you look at people like Bill Gates and all these,
Well,
like what are your thoughts on them? Like who are they worshiping? Who is their masters, do you think?
I always go back to the mystery school literature. There's two sources, with Steiner in particular. Steiner's an interesting one. Rudolf Steiner is a mystic, Austrian, and he was around. He started anthroposophy, so Waldorf schools and all that stuff. He started all that. Um, what he did, he has incredible things. He created biodynamic farming, eurythmy, and all these different things. One of the things that he wanted to peer into the nature of what was happening in the future. And when you look at his work, it is like a preview of everything we're seeing in the headlines now. But what he talked about was a force of Ahrimanic technology. And the term Ahriman was something he used over and over again. When I looked into it, it's a Persian devil, literally. And Ahriman is something that comes through the technology and sort of separates humanity from its spiritual side and makes it totally technological. And he has a sphere in the cosmology called the eighth sphere, where the harmonic trance basically lands you in the eighth sphere, and you think you're in reality. You're in their weird virtual reality, and it interrupts humanity's spiritual evolution. So this kind of flash forward that Steiner did, I always go back to the Zariman part because it explains a lot. And there's also a preview in there. He's writing in 1920, and all the technological advances are all 21st century, the things that he's foreseeing in the future. So that is a spiritual battlefield of a sense. And I think it gets into a control place. And at a certain point, Steiner said, the biggest secret for many years that the mystery schools held was about the eighth sphere. So they didn't let it out until the time was right. And so now we're rolling into this period of time, which is, it's anybody's game. And I think the root of it is ultimately they want to go up, the chain there, the spiritual chain, and they want to kind of short circuit the process. They don't want to have to go through the stages of spiritual evolution. They want to go up the tree of life, and there's a whole thing, if you study the tree of life symbology, about mineral and projecting the animal from the mineral, and that's a huge stage. Well, that is the human body as the animal going into the mineral computer android kind of form. They believe it.
Wow.
Yeah, they for sure believe it. And that's part of this whole thing about wanting everyone chipped and wanting you to become, enhanced and things of this nature, because they think they're going from animal to mineral and going up that chain. But they don't like the idea of going up and, being spiritually advanced. They like the idea of being who they are, super intellectually capable, and going into this whole thing about being technologically advanced and going up that tree of life. That's their occult religion. And there's a real side to the tree of life, and then there's their version. So I think that's where it lands us. It helps explain part of the whole trip that they're on, because depopulation is such a heavy side of it. And that seems to me super normal. It's supernatural, the fascination around it. So the
Part of me
harmonic
also,
thing, yeah, I think that
part,
that really,
dude, I looked it
it's,
up. That's crazy because it's from Zoroastrianism, right? And
yes,
then you kind of get into Mithra and
yes.
the Statue of Liberty and how that's prevalent everywhere,
Oh,
and
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
how like the Statue of Liberty is a dude and dressed in drag, and that kind of what we're seeing everywhere in our pop culture. Everybody live their life. I don't care, but that seems to be being forced all over the place. It fits into that, like this ancient religion. And then you get into this Armand, like, which is a lot of people think is kind of the devil from Christianity, or
Yes.
the
And
Abrahamic religions.
it's
That's
interesting.
crazy, bro.
Steiner did a sculpture of Ahriman. If you look up Ahriman sculpture Steiner, you're going to see his version of it. And he said while he was doing it, he was tuned into Ahriman and he started to feel like he was in heavy concrete. And the picture is pretty terrifying. If you ever see that sculpture he did of Ahriman, this was his mystical vision of the thing that he was
What
talking
was the
about.
name of it?
So it's Ahriman and then
Sculpture?
Steiner sculpture. Yeah. If when you see this, I wonder what you think of this.
Oh, here it is. Oh man.
That's Ahriman, according to Steiner.
Dude, and that looks so much like these alien things that
Yeah, yeah,
whoa.
yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a mystical vision there. He's seeing something. No question about it.
This,
Wow,
right?
bro. Is that it?
Yeah, okay, so the first one, that's not actually the full image. If you go to the left there, you see the one further over to
Is
the
it just
left.
the head? Is that the one you're talking about? That's the
Yeah.
head. Yeah, just put in here we go, XG. I'll put this to you. Just
Right.
put this in and it's crazy, dude. Just put this into the Google and you'll find it right there. It's crazy and it looks exactly like in a weird way these aliens, in a weird way
Yeah.
what people the original wow, that's kind of crazy. The original Dracula in the movie kind of looks like him. Yeah,
There
the
it is.
face
Far left.
that
That's
yeah.
it.
Oh,
Bingo.
like Nosferatu. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
look at
his
that,
sculpture.
dude.
19,
Wow.
he drew that in 19, he sculpted it in 1916.
Creepy.
So this is quite an image. That's what he got. And it's interesting because when he said, as he tuned into it, he felt heavy like he was in concrete.
Density, dude.
But
Low
the
vibrational.
Ahriman, yeah, the Ahriman force, this dark astral force, was coming through advanced technology, and he was looking at it for our century. So I think that is where, on the mystical side, we go on that.
Looks like the bad guy in Flash Gordon. What's his name? Do you remember?
Ming the Merciless, dude.
Yes, Ming the Merciless. Yeah.
God, that shit movie is so good. I can't believe they haven't remade it.
Yeah.
Love
Well,
that.
Star Wars is really a ripoff of Flash Gordon, if you think
Oh,
about it.
you think so?
Well, George Lucas admits he was greatly influenced by Flash
I
Gordon.
think Guardians of the Galaxy is a giant ripoff of Flash Gordon. That's why they haven't remade it. They're like, how do we
Why
just
remake
not
it when you can
remake?
just rip it off? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Not Owen, but
Yeah.